Welcome back to Grow Your UK Fashion and Textile Business with UKFT. In this episode, we're exploring how businesses across the UK fashion and textile sector can respond to some of the biggest shifts in our industry: sustainability, innovation, and legislation. Joining me today is Lizzy Dakin, Sustainability Manager at UKFT. Lizzy oversees UKFT's sustainability strategy and helps businesses like yours to embed sustainability into their operations. Hi, Lizzy.
Hiya.
Tell me a bit about your role and how you support UKFT members.
Of course. So I'm always in conversation with our members. So whether they're manufacturers, brands, retailers, I'm here to help and support them in terms of sustainability, whether that's embedding best practice or trying to comply with the latest and evolving legislations. You know, we're here as that sounding board to offer that support and help direct you in the places that you need to consider. We do understand that all businesses require different support. So to help with this, we offer sustainability clinics. And these sustainability clinics are all about understanding what it is that your business requires. It's not a one-size-fits-all sustainability. So it's really about understanding, you know, what you fall in scope of, what your business values are, and consolidating all those to give you the best support and tailored advice. And it's wonderful having conversations with our members, because the more conversations we have and the more we get to know your business, the better the advice that we can give you, and signposting you to different various events or something that might be interesting to you and to can accelerate your business further in terms of sustainability. Myself, I've come from industry working in various sustainability and CSR roles. So I've been there, I've got the T-shirt, I know how difficult and challenging it can be as a sustainability worker, wearing all those many different hats. I mean, sustainability, it's such a broad spectrum. So whether it's looking at products, your own operations within your supply chain, the list is never ending.
That's it, you get it, and you're coming from a commercial, you know, you've actually been in business, so you understand what they're dealing with, the pressure of we need to get products out the door, but we need to comply, we need to be thinking about the longer term as well. So I think having that understanding, and again, as you said, you know, the kind of people that you're dealing with, sustainability might not be their full-time job. It depends on the size of the business. They might have a big team, but want to stay ahead of the legislation. They might have, you know, it might be one person trying to do lots of different things. And it's having you outside of the business with a sort of broad understanding, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Like I said, every single business we talk to is different. And quite often sustainability isn't their primary role.
Yeah.
And if you think of all the evolving landscape and trying to get a grasp of that and stay abreast of these legislations, it's incredibly hard. I mean, these documents and to actually grasp that understanding, they're extremely large and it takes a long time to read. So we're here to cut through that noise, to give you the information that you need to know, so that then you can, you know, cut down that time, avoid duplication, and hear it from us.
And that was where our Sustainability 101 series came from, wasn't it? It was a case of, these are some of the issues. How do we break that down in a way that's manageable for businesses? What do they need to know from legislation or developments that are often like scattered in lots of different places, isn't it? So do you want to tell me a bit about how that came about and what we've actually developed as a suite?
Yeah, of course. So Sustainability 101 is primarily there to take these very complex topics and turn them into digestible chunks that make it really easy to understand, and we talk in the same language.
Yeah.
So Sustainability 101 was completely developed based on membership needs. So a couple of years ago, we did a sustainability survey to get a grasp and understanding of what those pain points were, what sustainability challenges that businesses needed support with. And again, whether you're a manufacturer, brand or retailer, it all looks different. So from that sustainability survey, we identified 6 main sustainability topics that businesses needed support with. Firstly, standards and certifications. I mean, there's
millions, isn't there? And again, they're being driven by retailers, they're being driven in different ways. So I guess it's been about working out which one's right for you, what do you need to know, what's involved.
That's it. So with standards and certifications, we do offer a guide, and within that guide, we do a comparison table, which will show you the price of the standard, how you apply, who can apply, the maintenance involved, what processes it will cover, and those sustainability touch points. So whether it is looking at environmental practices, social practices, chemicals, or whatever they might be, we show this within that guide.
And it's looking at it from an independent standpoint as well, isn't it? Because again, we're hearing from loads of different businesses. You either don't want to go into it and be like, oh, that's not what our customers want, or also we didn't know what was involved in terms of the sort of time and the admin and the resources to keep that up. So again, it's having that sort of overview without an agenda, I suppose. Because again, a lot of the standards or certifications, the people you might talk to are either people who've done it and really believe in it, or people who want to sell it to you as a thing. So it's having that independent view on it.
It's completely unbiased, the information we give. So we almost read between the lines, and we give the honest, the honesty
without
behind
agenda,
it.
Isn't it?
That's it. So if it takes a long time, we're going to tell you it takes a long time. If it's going to cost or a lot, or there's hidden costs within it, we're going to give you that information. And a lot of our members have undergone certain standards certifications. So again, sometimes it's about connecting you to those who have already done it, or hearing from those who have already done it, such as, you know, through a webinar, and hearing best practice and applying it to your own business.
We're talking a lot about standards and certification. Do you want to give me an overview of the other areas that Sustainability 101 covers and how that works?
Yeah, of course. So some of the areas that we cover is green claims and avoiding greenwashing. You know, that's been such a hot topic over the past few years.
That people just hadn't had to deal with before. Before it was like, say all the things you're doing, and now actually we're getting more of a, oh, hold on a minute, only say it if it's backed up. This is how you and again, we've seen actual action on that as well, which is the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of green claims, you know, we've got the CMA Green Claims Code, which is a UK regulation on to stop greenwashing, essentially. And whilst these regulations are very good at saying what you can't do, they're not always good at saying what you can do. So this is where we try and support businesses by showing what those alternatives might be, and to give you the advice to say to avoid greenwashing, and signposting various different resources that can really support you in complying with that. We also offer a checklist which consolidates all the legal requirements as well as best practice. And essentially, if you are reading that checklist and you're able to tick each box, then you know that you're covered. So again, it's us reading all of that information and trying to give you a tool to be able to be as efficient as possible with the perhaps little time you have.
Tell me a bit about some of the other topics.
So some of the other topics are supply chain due diligence. So from a human rights and environmental perspective, you know, within supply chain due diligence, there's considering things like modern slavery or forced labour, and then due diligence in itself. All of these regulations or practices, they're very complex, and they require you to follow certain frameworks or to have certain processes in place. And that's something we can support you with to make sure that you are following the most credible methods and getting it right.
And the other thing, again, a lot of these guidance documents that we've got, it's about looking at what's required in the UK, but also what's required around the world as well, isn't it? There's some brilliant maps in there of what the different legislation that falls under.
Yeah,
this.
Absolutely. Depending what market you're selling into, you need to have these considerations, and it's quite daunting for businesses when you're having to think of that global landscape. So again, offering this snapshot of,
here's what I need to know. Tell me what I need to know quickly so that I can get on with my business. And that's the important thing. And I suppose it's important to note as well that these are living documents. They get updated. Things are changing. Things are happening. So we're staying on the on the pulse of those things to kind of, so that you don't have to as much?
Absolutely. We're constantly horizon scanning. I mean, they have to be living documents because the landscape's evolving so quickly that if you don't follow it up and change it, then it can be somewhat out of date or missing information. So we're very reactive in terms of trying to keep on the pulse and keeping up to date with the latest information and latest insights, and always looking at that bigger picture and how to follow best practices within the industry.
And so the Sustainability 101 series, it's guides that you can download, it's templates, and then there's things like there's webinars to kind of get a bit more colour. And then tell me a bit more about the sustainability clinics that you offer. This is more about that sort of tailored support.
Yeah, so the sustainability clinics are very much that one-to-one interaction. So during these clinics, I want to find out more about your business, what you consider in terms of your own values when it comes to sustainability, but also trying to spot those gaps of what you might need support with. They're a fabulous way to be able to support you, to find out what those different areas that, you might need help with. So whether that is the evolving legislative landscape or embedding best practice, then we're here to support you.
Can you give me a couple of examples of how you work with members, what that looks like for them in a kind of practical way?
Businesses are always asking me questions or sending me emails asking for specific support. So that could be anything from a business saying that they have textile waste and, they want to find a provider or, a solution for this. Then I can support them with that. Touching on the green claims point that we raised earlier, quite often businesses, once they've looked at that guidance, they may follow up with copy that they might want to use for a website, or when they are listing a particular product and they want to make sure that the sustainability that they're mentioning isn't greenwashing. So quite often they will send their entire copy over to me, use me as that sounding board. I can read through it, strike through anything that I think, could be greenwashing, and give them those alternatives. And this might go on for some time, a bit of back and forth, and eventually that becomes second nature to them. And it's, all about upskilling at the same time and helping them in terms of meeting those sustainability requirements.
So another example, people were coming to you to ask about the code of conduct. What should they put in it? You'd had quite a few conversations around that. And so then that led to the development of a code of conduct template. Do you want to tell me a bit about how that works?
Yeah, of course. So it's a frequently asked question around the code of conduct, which a response to that, we ended up creating a template in itself. Again, this is just basic rule of thumb kind of information that businesses might want to follow when developing a code of conduct. And it's designed in a way that you can fit your business into that and tailor it to your own business's needs.
This is everything that you might include.
Yeah.
And you can cherry pick the bits that are relevant for your individual objectives, I suppose. But I suppose that shows, again, how we're sort of, these are the agenda points that we're covering, but also we're responding to things as they come up. And that's going to continue to develop, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. We're always doing things in response to those frequently asked questions, member businesses' needs. And that's why I always say, have the conversations with us, ask us the questions. No question is ever too silly. If you're asking it, someone else is thinking it. So, yeah, we love to hear from you.
That takes me on nicely to the sort of networking aspect and being part of a wider network. So we have events, we have webinars, but a lot of that is that peer-to-peer, non-competitive sharing, I guess, and that kind of stuff, the best practice, the conversations that we get. So we've got, tell me about events, tell me about how that works.
So we do have an annual sustainability conference, which, all types of businesses from the supply chain attend this. So whether you're a brand, retailer, innovator, it is a place for you all to come, have those conversations. There's opportunity for networking, but also you're going to hear from industry leaders, those who've been there, done it, understand how they've operationalized sustainability and what's worked for their business. And, you can consider this for your own. So it's a really good opportunity to hear the latest insights in terms of sustainability and find out the direction which things are going in.
Innovation goes hand in hand with sustainability in some ways. Tell me how that works for our members and how we support that.
We hear so much about legislation, but also another way to accelerate sustainability is through innovation. So innovation is there to perhaps reduce environmental impacts or can be a solution to tackle some of the industry's biggest problems. And we've noticed this gap. So recently we've created a new category of membership, which is for innovators. And again, it's about connecting our traditional members with innovators and try and find those solutions which are right for their business. So whether you're looking for waterless dyes or biomaterials, it's really about exploring this landscape and seeing if that is another way that you can accelerate sustainability within your business.
Data gathering is often a big problem for our industry. Do you want to tell me a bit about how UKFT can help with that or provide guidance?
Yeah, so I think that links into some of the conversations we had earlier. A lot of the businesses looking after sustainability are wearing all those different hats, and data gathering seems to be a conversation that keeps coming up where businesses are feeling like they're doing so much data gathering, it's actually stopping them almost from making that progress. So we can help you understand how to make that journey more efficient by signposting you to various different digital solutions that could potentially avoid duplication, consolidate information, and make that data gathering journey a little easier for your business.
And a key part of what we do is preparing businesses for what's happening now, but also looking around the corner at what's going to be coming down the track. Do you want to tell me about how we do that, where we are, I guess, what kind of sort of government and beyond, how that works?
Yeah, so we sit on various different working groups. So that could be through Eurotex or through UK government departments such as DBT or DEFRA. By sitting on these working groups or roundtables, we're able to understand the latest insights and, really keep our finger on the pulse when it comes to these changes. Also, it's an opportunity for us to feed back what is going on within the industry. So again, through having these conversations with our members, we're able to feed this back to those departments and really
it's like shaping what's going to come, but also stay ahead to be able to prepare businesses.
Yeah, ultimately, when it comes to sustainability, we want businesses to feel as prepared as possible and really curb that panic. Yes, we might not have the answers straight away because some of these legislations, they can be proposed and we are waiting for those latest insights. But as soon as we get them, we will provide a newsletter and give those latest insights. We might talk to you directly, but we also tell you what you can do in the meantime. So whether that is being more transparent or following a certain method, we'll give you that information.
Thanks, Lizzy. It's clear that sustainability isn't just a trend, it's changing the way we do business. UKFT is here to support you through that shift with tools, expertise and practical support. From clinics to compliance, webinars to innovation, our team is ready to help you move from where do I start to what next. Thanks to Lizzy for sharing her insights and thank you for joining us.